Man, here I am in Strictly Cuts in my hometown of Texas.
Yes, sir.
And,
Hey.
you know, we're here, man, Shop Talk.
World Wide Web. How y'all doing?
We're trying to figure out what we do to rebuild, restore black communities, urban communities across the country. And I know that our ages range from, if you're not ashamed of your age, what's your age, my man?
35.
35, you might be the baby in the group.
Baby.
Ma'am, you know, ladies don't normally tell their age, so what's your age?
46 and
46,
loving it.
and no problem. Ron?
41.
41. And Pops, what's your age, Pops?
72.
So we range from, what's your age, Doc?
45.
45. So we range from 35 to 72. That's a good demographic to work with. So guys, let me tell you what Shop Talk is about. I've traveled the country. As you can see, I supported Senator Bernie Sanders because of his social past record of trying to help move the needle. Fortunately, he was not the candidate for the Democratic Party. So now I'm still trying to figure out how we restore families. So my question is, and we just opened, what can we do to move urban communities better? I'm looking at the Dallas paper. I heard President Obama praise that the incomes had risen to $56,000 on average. But when you look at the numbers, that's for all races. But when you look at the number, the average income for blacks in America today is $36,000. So that means you have to take a low and a high. That means some people trying to live on $15,000, $16,000, and it don't work when you look at how inflation rises. Dallas has the highest poverty amongst youth in America. So my question is, being here in the community, what can we do? My solution is that we allow barbershops to be our community hubs where we bring information, where we have them to be resource centers, because I know that men go to barbershops, and I think men need to be involved in this process. Love you, mother, but y'all have carried the torch for so long. So, Ron, I guess the first question is, do you vote?
Yes.
You do vote.
I do vote, of course.
Mother, do you vote? You don't vote. Do you vote, my man?
Yes, sir.
You do vote. Pops, do you vote?
Yes, sir.
And do you vote?
I do.
You do vote.
Yes, twice a year.
You vote twice a year? What does that mean?
Two different names.
Two different names.
Two different addresses.
It's the barbershop, y'all. We keep it real.
Make sure we get our fans in, you know?
That's why I don't vote.
So here's the question, though. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a question because this is important. Now, you vote twice. What's this? But you also...
I do voter registration cards for every client. Make sure we get our guy in, man. Got to make sure that.
Okay. You keep saying your guy. Who's your guy?
Nobody this time.
Oh, okay. You saying guy. Okay. So here's my question then. So, Ron, if you were to vote in November, if you don't mind telling me, who would you be voting for?
Hillary.
Hillary Clinton.
I
So
am.
you traditionally vote Democrat,
I don't.
but you're voting for Hillary Clinton.
I don't
Okay.
like Trump.
Okay, cool, no problem. And who are you voting for, sir?
I'm a traditional Democrat.
You're a traditional Democrat, but you didn't say you're voting, so you're voting Democrat.
I actually like Bernie.
Okay, well, Bernie's not there, so who are you voting for, sir?
I'm going for Hillary this time.
You're going for Hillary this time. So everybody here is voting for Hillary. Okay. So, and ma'am, you walking in, if you don't mind, we're doing a TV show called Shop Talk. And, you know, if you don't mind, we're talking about our community and who we vote for and how we get better so we can save some of our young men and our young people. Are you okay with that?
Oh, I don't want to be on.
You don't want to be on camera? We won't put you on camera. So,
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I ain't
Yeah.
trying to take back what I said. But I don't want to say I don't like Trump.
right.
It ain't that I don't like Trump. It's just I don't agree with some of the things say how he said and whatnot. I think he just kind of
Okay.
be tripping a little bit. But I ain't saying I don't like him because as a businessman, I do like him.
So here's my question. This is why I'm
Okay, and I didn't mean to interrupt y'all.
Okay. No, you good. This is Shop. This is what we do. So here's why I'm here. Everybody here is voting for Hillary. This is in the South. Had I voted in March, I would have voted for Hillary. Now, you just said what Donald Trump says. Let me give you a little history on Hillary.
Okay.
If you understood or knew that Hillary saw young black men as super predators, would that affect you? If you knew that she called young black men super predators, would that affect you?
Yeah.
It would affect you. So I'm gonna make sure you see that. If you knew that Bill Clinton passed the law that brought about the 3 strikes, and then took the education out of prison when he knowing that more people would be incarcerated, would that affect you?
Yeah.
Or if you knew that when Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State, that she created relationships so her family and her foundation could profit off of relationships from selling arms and for other contracts. I guess Trump does say some crazy stuff. But the question becomes, are you okay with the person that say what they really feel because you know how to deal with them, or the person that will say what they need to say to get you to do what they want you to do? Which one's the more credible person?
It's just politics.
It's just politics.
It's the choice of two evils.
More credible person.
In other words, I'd rather know you don't like me than to think you like me and you really don't like me. Because see, that way I know how to deal with you as long as I know how you really feel about me. You kind of get what I'm saying? It's one thing when you think a woman love you and she got your back, and as soon as you need her to have your back, she say, man, I never did like you because the way you treated me 20 years ago. I'm just saying, you know, we having some barbershop talk.
Like I said, it's like the choice of the two evils.
So, okay, so then what we
Might
should
not be a
do.
perfect choice,
Right.
but
So, okay, so now let me ask you this. Since everybody here was for Hillary, the reason why I decided to do Shop Talk, because Bernie was my man, he's no longer in it. I think he got robbed. I think the system was really rigged because I was on the trail.
Yeah.
I was in 40 states, so I know it was. So what I decided to do was figure out if I wanted to restore a family, what was my best option? When I looked at communities that were led by Democrat politicians, the poverty rates are the highest poverty rates in the country. They've been there decade after decade. And so I was always told it's insane to do the same thing and hope you're going to get a different result. So that made me look at my other options. What are the other options? So of course there's Trump because he's the closest that Mike could win. Then there was Gary Johnson with the Libertarian Party. Then there was Jill Stein with the Green Party. Well, none of the last two could really win.
yeah.
So the only thing I could do was try to create a relationship and a partnership with Trump to say, look, whatever happens, you need black vote, urban vote. No one has really went out and earned the vote. It's been given to the Democrats for so long. The black vote used to be Republican a long time ago. And then they got tricked right around the Voting Act, and it was said, give them a little bit and you can own them for 200,000 years. That's a fact. So that's what happened. So now, here's my question to you. Ron, I'm starting with you. If there was a partnership in place, and it was with Donald Trump and Republican senators that said, I will commit resources directly into urban communities that are ran by the people in the communities so they can grow their community the way they see best fit. And we want to make sure that takes place because I can't gentrify a community from the people that live in the community. I guess my question is, Ron, you talk about you want to have this barber school, this elaborate place to train people and make it work. If there was a partnership,
I'm going to.
you're going to do it, right?
Thinking about it.
Okay, well, you're going to do that. But if there was a partnership in place that would bring those resources directly here to you, but it had to come through the Republicans through a partnership, would you vote for Trump then?
Well, I mean, you kind of make it seem like it'd be only monetary. If they were doing something to overall better edify the community from a long-term and a short-term perspective, yes, I would vote, because that's what it's really about.
So the question is,
Now, if
resources is all you need. If they give you the resources, you need to rebuild the community. In other words, if you had the resources you needed, you would open up this school today, you would be making the difference. And so in other words, what else do you want Republican or Democrat to do than provide you with the resources? In other words, are you saying you want the politician to come do the work or give you what you need so you can do the work?
I believe the latter part of what you just said, to give me what I need to do the work. And if it was this collaboration, you say, with the
Collaboration
Republican Party,
partnership.
whatever, however you want to put it,
Right.
with the Republican Party, that would make this different, not just for me,
Right.
from a monetary standpoint, but anybody who has solidified themselves as a legitimate business, working and moving toward productivity in whatever their arena, then yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I'm gonna be honest, I would.
The question I just asked Ron, what would be your position on that?
I would be that pretty much the same answer.
Same way.
That if, they came in and gave us the resources, that we all should be able to work together to make it better
So-
from one chord.
Because here's what I want to do. Because you're a black male, I'm a black male, you're a black male. I like to work. for what I get.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have no problem getting up, getting the job done. And I believe the misnomer is that brothers don't want to work. We want something for free. All we want is a real opportunity to get the job done, because it's proven in any place we go that we have a fair opportunity. Even if we work harder, we become the top dogs.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. So my man, you into the power, you register people, you do all this. The question is the same question for you. If there was a relationship, a partnership, a collaboration in place, and they happen to be Republicans, that says, I'm with providing what's needed in those communities, and let the people who live in the community every day decide what they want to build and how they want it to look, would you consider or would you vote for those Republican candidates?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Okay. Now, Pops, you 72 years old. Here's my question to you. Voting a long time. You probably know people that fought for the right to vote. How do you normally vote?
Democratic.
So you've been voting Democrat how long? 40 years?
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot take place in these communities. Do you think these communities are where they should be?
No.
Okay. So now I'm looking for wisdom. Because some people are going to say I'm crazy. They're going to say I'm out of order, but they said Dr. King was crazy. They said all these other people was crazy. How do you get change? Do you do the same thing or do you do something different?
Do something different.
Okay. So I just asked all of our young brothers from 35 to 46, if there was a relationship with Republican candidates that says, we can't fix your communities because we don't really know your communities, but we're willing to work with those that are about fixing the community, and there was a partnership there, would you vote for that Republican if they were a Republican candidate?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, here's the other part. I don't care who we vote for. The only way it works, it's accountability. So you got to hold them accountable. And I think that's the part where people are afraid. Because I march, I protest, I do everything. I knock on your home door if I have to, for you to do what you told us we're going to do. So that's what Shop Talk is about. And ma'am, I'm talking to you. I'm not putting the camera on you, mother, because I don't want to seem like we're leaving you out. I know you just walked in. And so, mother, let me ask, do you have any sons or grandsons? Niece, nephews? Okay. Do you understand what's happening with young black men across the country? Do you understand that young black males have the highest unemployment rate in America? Yes. Do you vote, mother? Yes. How long you been voting? Been a while. How do you traditionally vote? Democrat. My question to you, if there was something in play that allowed your grandsons, your sons, your nephews to have a real opportunity to be their business owners or have a way to have real jobs in their community, would you support that effort? So if it was a Republican white man who says, I'm going to work with you, you'd be okay with that? They can't see you shake your head, mother.
Okay.
Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
You would. That's what I'm fighting for, mother. And so when people say we crazy, if they lie to us, I get every young brother. They already think we crazy, right? I get every young brother from Chicago, all them, and we'll march to Washington, and we'll do what Dr. King did, but we'll do it with a louder voice. All right, I want to thank you all for what you're doing. I want to commend you for registering people. My goal is this, is to get the Republican Party, Donald Trump, to give us some money so we can open up information hubs, so we can register people, so we can train people, so we can teach people. Because here's the sad part about it. The Democrat Party spends less than 2% of their budget in the black community and with black companies. The sadder indictment, the Republicans spend less than that on our vote. So we need to make our vote count. And I think Puff Daddy said it best. At some point, we're going to wake up and make everyone earn our vote. This is the greatest year because both candidates at the top seem to not have people like them.
That's good.
So at some point, let's make our voice count, our vote count. Until then, this is Shop Talk in Texas. Strictly cut.